if I plan strategically, I can get it right. I'm gonna go where the winners go. 'Cause failing ain't an option, no, it ain't in my blood. All I do is try to.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mondays Beyond the Mic. This is the place where we look at relationships to provide a better understanding for both men and women so we can grow together. And we want to say thank you to our regular viewers and to our new viewers. So we ask you like, share, and subscribe as this one gesture means much to Mondays Beyond the Mic and Bravo with Sheila. We have a disclaimer. We're going to talk from our personal experiences, and we have house rules. And what are they? Respect, respect, respect. If disrespect is stated on the platform, we want to say you will be removed from the show. So I'd like to welcome my co-host, Lady Dawn B. How are you?
What's popping, good people? I'm good. I'm well. Happy Monday. How are you, Dr. E?
It's Monday. I'm glad to be here. I'm excited about tonight. I'm excited. I'm excited, and yet I'm nervous at the same time about tonight's topic. Does that make sense?
It does, and it's justified.
So I'm going to tell you in advance tonight. I'm going to be transparent, and I'm going to be healed in this process tonight.
Come on.
So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about fighting fair in a relationship. But before we get into the topic, Lady Dawn B, let's look and see who's in our chat. Anae, she said, hey, Bravo with Sheila Network. Hey, Anae, we thank you for doing what you do as being the best moderator in these YouTube streets.
Absolutely.
Gail Lockley, hey, sis. She says, good evening. And of course, little sister jumped in. Sharon Lockley said, hello, all. Hey, Lockley sisters. And Reginald Brown said, aloha to the beautiful host and blessings to the family. He says, aloha. I think we need to do the show from Hawaii. What you think?
When we going? We next week we gonna be there. Okay, we coming, Reginald.
And Marilyn Jackson said, hello, everyone. Hello, Marilyn.
Yes. Good to see you. That is all our comments right now.
All right. So we're just going to ask, just as they're coming in, to remember to like, share, and subscribe, as tonight we are going to talk about fighting fair in a relationship. So before we get into this, I want to think about fighting fair when you're in a heated fellowship, right? We don't want to say argument, but when you're in a heated discussion, fellowship with someone, how do we handle conflict? How do you handle that, Lady Dawn B?
If I'm honest, since we're being transparent, we're going to free ourselves. Tonight is deliverance night, right? So we got to tell the whole truth. Okay. So for me, it really depends on who I'm in a fight with. It does. If I'm fighting with my son, there's no hold barred. It just is what it is. And we just going at it. Okay. I'm just kidding, y'all. No, that's true. I'm not even going to lie. But really, in the midst of a heated fellowship, I try to watch my mouth very much because I know how I can be. And I really don't want to wound anyone. It takes a lot. It's a lot of discipline. A whole lot of discipline. And so I try not to be venomous, but I will, work to get my point across. And before I turn it back over to you, we do have a few more people who popped into the room if you want to say hello.
William Michael Barbie said, "Good evening, good evening," and we know that he is feeling much better this week. And we're so thankful to have you here with us, sir. We are honored to have your presence.
Amen. Welcome. Welcome, Dr. William. Amen.
And Vaughn, where's your faith? Says blessings all.
You got to make sure everybody's included.
Hey, Janice. She said, "Good evening. Good evening, Janice." And William Michael Barbie is laughing out loud. All right.
Oh, we got one more.
Hey, Steph. Steph said, "Good evening, ladies."
Good evening. And our dear friend.
William Michael Barbie said, "Y'all starting trouble already. We good trouble. We are good trouble. What
We are.
say ye?"
I agree. We are. We are the best kind of trouble you could ever want to have.
That part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So let's get into this fighting fair. According to choosingtherapy.com, it's completely normal for people in any kind of relationship sometimes to disagree or argue. However, how the argument unfolds and the impact it has is just as important as the underlying topic of the argument itself. There are, in fact, fair fighting rules you can strive to implement and master that will help maintain the relationship. I know earlier we talked
Different argument
that fighting
styles.
fair and
Let me
what that
know
looks
which one
like.
of the following actually resonates with you. The first one is attacking. Attacking is all about accusations and expressing it with anger. This style of argument is not helpful because it doesn't help you communicate effectively what you need or want from your partner, which creates conflict and becomes a very heated argument. The second one is defensive. This style of argument is all about defending yourself towards what your partner is expressing about you and not allowing a safe space for your partner to openly express themselves. The next one is withdrawing. This argument style is about either withdrawing yourself from the argument or withdrawing the entire argument altogether, all because you are not good with confrontation. Now, this is not healthy because either way, you are going to be afraid to bring up the topic or just avoid it. And this is not going to help resolve the issue in present time. Now, the most effective argument style is open. Now, this argument style is the most healthiest and very highly recommended by experts. The open style helps build a safe environment within your relationship or marriage and allows you and your spouse to be able to see the issue from different perspectives. Focus more on the problems, discuss solutions, and lessen the emotions.
Okay. Lady Dawn B, we saw that clip. And what do you think? Hold on, hold on. We got a guest, and this guest is special. This guest is really, really special. I like to call him my little big cousin,
Hey, how
Terrence
you doing?
Campbell. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, because how you doing?
I am well. I am well, and thank you
Awesome,
for
awesome.
joining us.
Thank you for
So,
having me. Thank you.
you're welcome. So tonight we are talking about fighting fair, and I don't know if you had an opportunity to look at the clip. So we wanted to just figure out in fighting fair and listening to the styles that she talked about, what would you say would be your style of fighting fair or fighting?
Well, I mean, at my age, at this time in my life, I don't do the fighting, to be honest. No, I just walk away. Too much wasted energy. It's just not my style no more. But no, prior back in the days when I was a little hot headed, yeah, I would put on a scene, but it wasn't worth
Okay.
it. I'm too much. Yeah, it wasn't worth it. So
Okay.
I'd rather just
Thank-
walk away and be like, I'm done. You can argue by
Oh,
yourself. I don't do that.
hmm. Lady Dawn B, what do you say?
Well, again, it's a night of transparency, and welcome to you, Terrence. Right. So,
Thank you, lady.
yeah,
Thank you.
being honest, my former, because I'm reformed now. I'm reformed.
Hmm.
You know, so my former fighting style, honestly, was a withdrawal. I'd be quick to withdraw. I'm not doing this. What tone are you talking to me? I don't even hear you. Um, just not participating. Not even you gonna argue with yourself. You will have an inner conflict with you because I refuse to engage. Um, and that was not the healthy, but it was not the healthy way to go. But it was my defense mechanism
Okay.
because I didn't want to deal with
The
you know
conflict.
yeah, and it's presentation makes a world of difference, makes
That's
a
true.
world of difference in how we respond to each other. And I understand
Hmm.
in the heated fellowship we may not
Yeah.
always have the honey
The
approach.
tone. Yeah. The tone changes. The body language changes. The hand movements goes all. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, so all that aggression does not,
Yeah.
it
It
triggers,
doesn't
it's
help. Yeah.
triggering for
That.
me.
I
let,
agree.
let me just remove myself before the people
It
come
gets
with
out of
the
thing. Yeah.
silver
Or
cuffs.
escalate.
you know Oh, I was going behind the bars. I was going to the restricted area. So that was me. But I'm reformed now, y'all. Somebody was praying. I'm reformed.
Yes. Yes. That's a blessing. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Change is a
know,
good thing. Change is a good thing. That's
I
for
think
sure.
it's just so funny to hear you, Lady Dawn B, say that because that was exactly my style, withdrawing. I got nothing to say. I'm I have nothing to say. And a matter of fact, I'll take it a step further. In my withdrawal mode, I found a song to sing for the situation. So not only am I not talking to you, I have a whole song in my head that I'll start singing out loud.
Oh yes, the
Oh, out
insult
loud, really?
generator.
Oh, out loud, out loud, out loud. It'll
Yeah,
be
just
like
yeah,
Mary J. Blige, just fine. I'm going to be, whatever it is, just a song for the moment. I would sing a
Mm.
song. So I realized it was withdrawal.
Well, she's often off key.
Welcome to the show, William Michael Barbie. So what
How
say
are
you?
you?
I'm well.
Good,
How you
good,
doing,
good.
buddy? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. I actually jumped on after I heard Brother Campbell because my feelings were still hurt by Sister Dawn, but I'm better now, as Dr. E said. No, 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 no. I'm happy for the topic. I am open. Uh,
Nice.
I stepped on because I was going to stay in the shadows and just type. And one of the things that I work with is 151 men. And for years, we have not showed up for ourselves emotionally, mentally. And so when the brother said,
Hmm.
I just walk away, I said, the directions just said that's not the best one. Open is the best one. And so part of what we do with the men's support group is to get brothers to one, stay emotionally present so that we can deal with whatever the situation is. And so our ultimate goal is always to raise our emotional intelligence. And that's the best way of getting to an open stage so that you can be receptive of something different. That's all he say.
So let me ask this question. Before you were so emotionally intelligent, what
Don't
was
go
your
there.
style in
Don't
the
go
past?
there. No,
No, I'm
I
going to
was
go all
open.
the way there.
I was open then. I was open. It's just I think with the education, it gave me a better understanding to how I showed up and why. And it gave me a pathology to how this happened. I didn't just arrive. This has been a
Mm-hmm.
process, but I became more cognizant to how I want to be in relationship with people. And so open was just a better approach if we had to categorize it through those four categories.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Me walking away is more of my defense mechanism. 'Cause I'm a very aggressive person. Like you can see, I'm a big dude, and once things escalate,
You're
it's
just
best for me to
close
walk
to the
away.
camera.
And yeah, I mean, I'm just a big dude. Just like no, I mean, if you being transparent, I'd be open. Like I did the time in prison. I was in the streets heavy. I was putting in work. So me walking away is the best thing for any human being. To be honest, that's the best thing. That's me going to counseling and me taking anger management classes, doing all that stuff. So it's certain individuals you have to walk away. Like that's just for safety reasons. I don't care who you are. You have to walk away from certain people because you
Well,
will
I'm
get physical and things will get to like bodies. So you
Escalate.
got to walk away. I think it will escalate. I go from 0 to 60 within seconds. So I did
have
take
you
I took anger
okay.
management classes. I took everything. And one thing I did learn was being in class with other brothers as myself who was previously incarcerated, who did time, who got murder charges. We did find out walking away is the best solution for everybody. So that has to be implied into especially young brothers because we the biggest people incarcerated. So we have to learn how to control our emotions, our temper, and learn how to remove yourself. You have to physically remove yourself from that situation. So there's no, I got to talk to you. I got to know. There's no talking. There's because you can see time and time through history where people got killed just from trying to talk, and you'll hear about people. Hey, if you'd have left, that'd have worked out.
Well, let me ask
So
you a question.
yes.
Let me ask you a question. What do you do with that emotion, all that emotion that you have bottled up
So
when you
like
walk
like like you see, when I walk away, it's better for me. I pray. I'm very spiritual. I pray. Well, then I'll call my parents. But I just stay to myself. I learned how to calm myself down once I move away.
right?
As
But
long
that
as
emotion that you feel, where does it go?
no, it goes away within like a couple hours. No, like it's built in me because I'm naturally wired like that. So it's built in me. So I just remove myself. I go home. I watch some movies, play some music, I work out, and then I'm calm. And I could
So
talk to
it's
the person again. If me and the person is on good terms, I could talk to the person again and be like, hey, listen, I apologize. Even if I'm right, I would still apologize first. I'm like, hey, I apologize how everything went down. Yeah,
Let
I
me
had to get
just
away
ask
from
this.
that.
Let me ask this then, and I appreciate it because you know yourself better than anyone. And if walking away is the
Hmm.
best thing for everyone, by all means, always walk away if that's how you have process. But what I still say, a lot of times we think walking away, we do a movie, we go lift weights, blah, blah, blah. But what we do inadvertently, we just put our emotion on the shelf, and that emotion, that pain, that trigger is always there. And every time we're triggered, it just comes back. So we're not really addressing that emotion that is attached to that trigger.
No,
And
you
so
you 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 definitely you are definitely in contact with their emotion regardless. So it's not just put away. You just know how to deal with it. And like everybody, like my cousin Elaine says, she sings a song. Everybody has different methods, so no method is right or wrong.
but she tried
Everybody
to sing
just like your method is your method, my method is my method.
something. Yeah.
So we can't say, oh, that's not right. You can't say walking away is wrong. Walking away what works for you. Like you have to realize what works for you. So we can't dictate what's right or wrong, but we could put out opinions like, hey, listen, try this way. I try his style. I try her style. And see if that helps you. Because
Well,
I'm more of a person of like life. Like I said, I'm 51 years old. I want to live to see the next day, but I know a lot of brothers out there that's still operating on that street mentality or that street, or either you letting your emotions take over your perceptions of life. And it's, you have to be around brothers who like myself who've been through that way. And like I said, I talk to a lot of brothers, and I love speaking to brothers who come to me years later. Hey, thanks a lot for that prep talk you gave me. Because yeah, it works for you. Because I know everybody's different. Like your father might tell you something how they dealt with it, but it might not work for you. And that's just how it goes when you learn about life and how you want to deal with individuals. And so as human beings, especially as brothers, we gotta learn how to say, listen, if that works for you, God bless you, brother. Keep doing it. But this works for me, yeah, keep doing that too. So
No,
you
I
gotta learn
support
how to.
you in your I
Yeah.
support you in your approach 100%. The question that I raise is that emotion that's attached to the trigger, no matter whether
Mm-hmm.
you walk away or whether you stay there. It's not to dictate to tell you to stay. It's for me, I try to stay open to hear, to stay emotionally present. And even if I
Mm-hmm.
walk away, I'm still going to be emotionally present because I want to be able to receive and understand my emotion that's attached to the event and or
Oh yeah,
trigger.
of course. Yeah. One thing about me, I'm very open about, like, if you see me, I wear my emotions on my face, on my sleeves. One thing about me, if I'm upset or happy, angry, it comes out instantly.
How you feel
So I
right
know
now?
how to deal with it. So I deal with it. I'm good with it. Okay, I'm good. I'm nice. I'm not gonna deal. I'm not gonna let this ruin my whole day. I'm gonna go home and relax and watch a movie and work out and I'm gonna do something fun that I know that I enjoy.
Gotcha.
And then,
If I
like I
could just
said, hmm,
No, I was going to say, if I can just kind of step in, I think a
sure,
part of this, when we talk about like fighting fair and understanding your emotional intelligence and things to that nature, is that we have to realize that it comes to our own maturity level of how we
exactly,
get to our next step. So I'll go back to me when I even thought about this topic. I even told Lady Dawn B, I said, tonight I'm going to be delivered because this was an area or is sometimes maybe some, an area in which I can struggle with because of it could be environment, it could be depending on how close the person is to me that I'm having
hmm,
this heated fellowship with, to be able to say, I will withdraw. I used to withdraw. Like I have nothing to say because in my mind, it was safer for me to say nothing because I knew my words could hurt. And I
yes,
do
of
understand
course,
the power of words. If I walk away, say nothing, and address it when I have clearer thoughts, then maybe it will come out better than where there's some people who want you to address it right then and there. And that is their method of dealing
exactly.
with fighting fair.
Hmm.
But I understand Terrence's point where it's kind of like the best thing for everyone is to let me walk away right now and then come back and revisit this because now I have to process how I feel to your point. I was about to call you Dr. Barbie. To your point
John.
about
John.
Yeah,
to your point of processing and being able to say, this is how I felt when this happened, or you made me feel, putting
feel,
words to those feelings. But I understand both. And I don't know again if it's a family thing that is like, let's just walk away right now because if I
yeah,
stay, it's not gonna be pretty.
yeah, it's
and
not.
and growing and maturing into that space and place that you're able to say, you know what, you hurt me when you said this. And I would say growing up in an environment, growing up in Harlem, you're not taught to put your feelings out there, you're taught to
Exactly.
protect yourself at
Hmm.
all costs. So now
Exactly.
you're trying to unlearn what environment has taught you.
Taught
This
you.
is the way
True.
to survive in the environment.
That's very true. I agree. You to piggyback off of that. Growing up in Harlem, words means everything. So you just can't say what you want to say to somebody, and you have to learn how to say, you know what? Yeah, you said that, but I'm not gonna let that control. And which it has. I mean, I'll be honest. A lot of times people have said certain things to me, which I snap, which wasn't right. But like my cousin Elaine said, no, we was taught that person can't say certain words to you. You can't back down. You gotta approach a person right then and there by any means necessary.
But
And
growing up in Newark, New Jersey, is no different than the
yeah,
Harlem.
similar. Yeah, it's
I
similar.
think what tends to happen, we know what's best for us as
Hmm.
individuals, each person engaged, and if walking away is the best approach for that person at that point. But where I've chose to do is explore within me
Hmm.
how not to unaddress, never address that emotion and that trigger, because I want to be able to exist free without having those triggers, even if those things that were once triggers are still there, how I could still walk through it without being triggered. And so that's where there's an intentionality with addressing in that whole process of growth in our emotional intelligence. So I'm with
All
you on
right.
that. I want you to walk away. I see a big joker like you come to me, you tell me, "Hey man, leave me alone." I'm gonna leave you alone, bro. Don't worry about it. You done
Oh
told me
man,
you got muscles. You got muscles. I got you, man. I got a piece on my hip.
Like I said, I've been through all those scenarios, man. But no, I'm happy to say that at learning from my experience and just learning how to just be happy. That's another thing, as brothers, we have to learn how to just, love each other, hug each other. Hey, listen, apologize. Like I said, I'm quick to, I would say I would back in the days I would never apologize, but nowadays I apologize. Like I said, I will apologize even if I'm right. Hey, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry, if it came out that way, you felt that way. I just want peace. I want everybody to be happy. I just
You
want to
just
go
threatened
home.
me. How you want peace? You just got to threaten me, man. Now you want peace. What is that, a Harlem thing?
Lord, now
Hey, wait a minute
Lady
now.
Dawn,
Hey,
what say
wait,
you?
wait, wait.
It's all love,
Wait,
brother.
wait, wait.
Oh, it's love. Cain that killed Abel. Yeah, it's love. That's my brother.
That's my brother. You said my brother, though.
Yeah, I
See?
know. He did.
Dr.
Only
Barbie,
you, William Michael Barbie. Only
Well, pray
you.
for me. Pray for me. Y'all
and
pray
now
for
he's
me.
wounded again.
Always. So please, for those that are watching, please hit the like button. We ask that you like, share, and subscribe, but we need you to hit the like button for us. This is good conversation. Lady Dawn B, I see we have some more people.
We
Oh,
do.
Bravo with Sheila said, please hit the like button. It is free 99. Thank you in advance.
That's
I
right.
love that.
It is free 99 to you and means everything to us. Absolutely. Let's
It's a
see. We
great
do have some
platform.
comments.
Reginald said, I personally hate arguing, but I will discuss anything. If it escalates to an argument, I shut down because we are no longer listening to each other. We are both arguing to be right and at the time. True.
And that's
That's
true.
true. That's true.
That's
That's
true.
true.
I've learned to think
That's
of it
true.
in the sense of do you want to be right? What's more important to you? To be right or to get it right?
Hmm.
And whichever one it is that you want is going to dictate the way that you present. Let's
That's true.
see where else we got.
Hey, John. John says, where they do that at? I'm not sure which one he's talking about.
Oh, John's from Newark. What are you talking about? John's from here. That's my dude.
Oh, you brought back
He says,
up he brought back up in the room today. Is that what happened?
Never
okay.
need that.
He says, I found in my relationships that I am unable to argue with my partner. I'm handicapped by logic and reason, a disability not shared by any of my partners. Okay.
Yeah,
That's an
well,
interesting way to put it.
handicapped by because most people are not trying to be logical or reasonable in the
True.
midst of the fight, the heated
Hmm.
fellowship.
It's a
Again, people
heated
do just
fellowship.
want to be heard. Let's see, we got who else is in the house tonight? Sarah Hart in the house tonight. Let's see. Okay, here we go.
Reginald said, I have to walk away and it gives me time to address my emotions and of look at her view of things. I listen to smooth jazz and decrease the level. When I come back, baby, I I love you. Let's talk later. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Whatever works.
Yeah. That works. See.
Does that work for you? Because I know at that point my attitude would be, I'd be questioning, but I'm reformed. I'm just saying, a work in progress.
And Teresa Jones says, blessings all. Blessings, Teresa. Stephanie said, I would rather keep my peace than to win an argument. I'm from Newark
I like that.
too. I've come a long way. Laugh out loud. Okay, you got some
Nice.
backup there. Oh, John said he's from Patterson, the fourth
Oh, my
ward.
cousin's from Patterson. He from Newark. He's still New Jersey. John makes his money in Newark.
Janice says, I don't like arguing, but I will get my point across. And once I do that, it's pretty much over for me. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
So she just dropping her bombs and walking away.
She's out. She's done.
All right.
The relationship is over. Relationship is over.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I,
okay. So let's go in. Oh, I'm sorry. You want to say something, Lady Darby?
I was going to say, I think the thing about walking away that we have to consider is that we all need that time to decompress, to process,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So in the moment, you know, it's one thing if you walk away and you never come back, like, you
Yeah.
know,
Mm-hmm.
like Brother
The ghost.
William was saying,
Mm-hmm.
you know, because you still have that emotion that is unsettled, you know, and you can't settle it by yourself necessarily because you didn't start it by yourself, you know. So you have to come back to address it, but you do need that time to decompress, to process. And the other thing that I will say is that the fight is not so much about the fight. The fight doesn't begin without the offense.
Mm,
And that's where the fight begins, is at the offense of the, you know. So we have to be again mindful of how we're presenting conversation to discuss rather than offending to fight. So that's all I would really add.
But
that's
Yeah.
good.
Dr. Dawn, one of the things you said earlier about arguing, I really agreed to it because there's a part in every relationship where there's conflict and you have to have resolution. And it's how are you arguing to be right or the opposite? And so I don't always want us to always put a negative stain on arguing. It's how
Mm-hmm.
we do it, how we
Yeah.
resolve the conflict. So if we grow up, my parents, we never raised our voice, we never argued, we never this, we never that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, did you have an existence? Because most things start at home, and that's where
Mm-hmm.
you get your groundwork. Your family. Come on, Dr. E, family of origin. You know, your family of origin is where this stuff starts. And if you don't process that stuff young or get exposure to it young, how prepared will you be in the streets once you get out there?
You
I may
actually
have
will
muscles
not
and beat
be.
somebody up.
Yeah. It's true because no, I came from a household. My mother and father to the day are still together, but they used to fight a lot. They used to argue a lot, but it was still love. And I know when I got in relationships, I know I didn't want that. And I seen it. And when my girlfriends would come, my ex girlfriends would come around to my house, they thought it was kind of comical. I'm like, yeah, but I grew up with, but I don't want that. This is not me. But that's their pattern. That's what kept them together. I knew for a fact I don't want that in my life. And that was just so to piggyback off of that, yeah, we see arguments in the household, we see arguments in the streets, and it's up to you how you want to present yourself. Because I have friends who's argued with their girlfriends outside. I know I don't want that. I was like, I don't want to be doing this. I don't want to be causing no scene outside. Even though I did at one point, but I was like, this is whack. I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
So it's
I mean,
more of
I
so
I'm sorry.
it's more of just changing yourself. With finding like, kid, I don't want to be this person. As as we keep saying, we all want to be reformed. Like, I don't want to be that person no more. I don't like how that person carried himself. Like, I want to be me, my individual person, my individual self.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think to your point, that family of origin, going back to that, boy, when I was growing up, I never saw my parents argue. So when I got married and got into my first heated fellowship, I
Mm.
called my mother. I left the house, went downstairs, no cell phones at that time, called my mother and was like, I'm leaving and I'm coming back. And she was like, no, you're not. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, go back upstairs. I was like, you gonna make me go back? And what she said was, I said, but you and daddy never argued. And she said to me, she said, no, you never saw us argue.
Hmm.
And I
Mm.
thought they
Amen.
did me a disservice because you got married. It was your soulmate. You never
Mhm.
argue. You agree on everything. I was young. And
Yeah.
it was such an eye opener for me. So I wasn't equipped to argue with someone that I said I do to, and I was supposed to be in this for the long haul. I was like, oh, I don't like this.
Yeah, I do remember there was a time where Elaine had called me. She's like, cousin, I was gonna call you one day to come over here, but she's like, nah, I know who you are. I was like, okay. Good thing you didn't call me. She's like,
Terrence, you ain't supposed
yeah,
to be telling our family business.
but yeah, but that's how close we are to each other. She was like,
I
yeah,
know, but not the
This
world
is,
out here.
this is the transparent place today. Deliverance
but
is
no,
coming.
yeah,
Remember?
but
It's
no,
okay.
no, but and her defense was no. She thought about it. She was like, hey, should I call my cousin Terrence? She's like, nah, this it's not going to end. It's not going to end right. So she's like, I didn't call you. I was like, okay, that's good. I'm happy. I was proud of her. To be honest, I was proud of her. I was like, wow, she really thought about
I
it to
was
be
proud
able
of me
to.
too.
I don't know. It's all love. That's what it's all about. What it's all about is like in that case, she thought about it. Sometimes you have to sit and say, you know what? Do I want this thing to escalate? Because I don't know how it's going to turn out. It could turn out. It could go good or bad. Especially like
Yeah.
back then, especially my temper back then, it would have been, it definitely would have been good. So like, yeah, this
And
is not.
here's the thing that I had to learn, and I'm still learning this, and I like to call it stop, pause, control,
I
right?
like that. I like
Like,
that.
stop, because my mouth is going to get me in trouble. I already know that, so I'm like, nope, let me stop. And the pause is giving me the ability to think about what my next move is, and not from a vicious part, but from a place of like, let me grab my emotional intelligence, because we could have these. I have the tools, but in the moment, if you are not in the right place, you throw all those tools out the window and you're like, no, this is how I feel. As Lady Dawn B said, I'm gonna be toxic today. So you can have those moments where you feel like that, but in that pause, it gives me, or I say the power of the pause, it gives me the opportunity to think about, if I do this, what does that look like? I'll go back to what Terrence said. If I made that phone call, what would that look like? So no. And then control, using my emotional intelligence, and now saying, this was a trigger, and why did it trigger you when this person said this? What was it about you that you're now self-aware that, yeah, that is a sore spot for me? So I think if we understand our tools and use our tools, now I'll tell you, it depends on what it is, because I always say, you can say anything to me, but when it comes to my children, the mama bear, the lioness, all of those things come,
No
and
holds barred.
I may be willing to throw everything out depending on was the issue. But knowing those tools and understanding who you are and what your triggers are. So if walking away, but when I walk away, let me not think of mean and vicious things to do, but let me figure out how to calm myself down and put me in a better place. Now I'm laughing because Dawn and I, we are birthday twins. And I
Right.
know me, the old me would have thought of all the ways to get you
What?
back.
All of
Like, I got you. Don't go to
Petty,
sleep. Don't
petty
do
it.
this.
Pendergrass.
Don't do that. But
See,
I'm like, I'm with Dawn. I'm reformed.
Well,
I want you to sleep well.
and I mean
I'm
it.
willing to walk away. Right. And I
right.
mean it. You
Exactly.
know, and that to me is a level of maturity, because I would be thinking, now this is the younger me. I would be thinking all kinds of things like, oh, I'm gonna get you back. Don't worry, it might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, but I
But I'm
will
gonna get
get you
you.
back.
I'm gonna tag you
Part.
back.
That part right there.
That
Yeah.
East Water
But I'm
River
so glad.
be bothering you.
What happened?
The East River water must have polluted y'all water cycle in New York. All three of y'all from New York, listen to y'all. I'm trying to give you some reformation over here in New Jersey. Come on home. Jesus.
Well, no, but but
Real
tonight
went
we're
out in
being
the water.
truthful.
I
Yes,
know.
We're being
I agree
truthful
with
and
Oh,
we're
you. Yeah.
being
sure.
transparent,
That's right.
because we have to be able to say, this is who I was. And I keep
Mm-hmm.
saying that. And this is who I am. And if we want to build healthy relationships, I say for
You had to
myself,
drink
I
New
want to,
Jersey water.
Lord.
absolutely not.
That's how you came. That's how you changed when you came to New Jersey. All that Harlem stuff.
Well, I'm
No,
still in
I
New
came to
York.
Jesus,
Ah,
not the water. It wasn't
Jesus is spelled the same way. Go ahead now.
but like as we go through this, and listen, we haven't even hit the points. This discussion has been.
I'm sorry. I'll shut up. I'll shut up.
Oh my
No, y'all
Welcome
God.
be
to
on
the night.
the warpath with that New York stuff, man. I'm like, yo, going back to Jersey.
No, I think you was just feeling some kind of way because you were the only New Jerseyan on, but that's okay. We're gonna let
I
you.
got
We
Prescott
understand.
Okay.
Patterson.
How do you
It's just
feel
East
about
Coast.
that?
It's East
Tell us
Coast
how you
style.
feel,
Oh,
Michael.
I love
We're
it.
here
I
for you.
love it. I
We're here
love
for
it.
you.
Yes. Spread the love, Mike. Just spread the love.
I'm here to receive it all.
Well, we have some comments. Let's get to our comments because Rosa, Mama Rose, she said, "Good evening, ladies and panel."
Hi, mommy. That's my mom, yeah.
Hello.
For real.
Hello.
In real time.
Corey
No.
Corey said, "Not arguing can be unhealthy. The
That's right.
resolve of the argument is key."
Mhm.
True, so true.
True.
That's what you want to get
That's
to.
true.
Yes, ma'am.
Reginald said, "One thing I've learned is that an argument doesn't solve anything. The only thing that comes out are things we shouldn't have
Should I say?
said,
You
and
said that's true.
things you can take
Take back.
back once
Mhm.
said." But I think that's also learning how to argue correctly and
Mhm.
fighting
Exactly.
fair, because I think
Mhm.
the argument is a healthy thing. You have to have some type of conflict. If the person always agrees with you and you always agree with the person, then there is something wrong. You have to have something, but knowing how to fight fair, and that's the goal tonight. I don't think we're going to get to the whole goal, but that is the goal tonight. All right, we have some
Just
more
add on to
comments.
that too. I
Oh
think
yeah.
in those moments that because when you said this, that these are things that we shouldn't have said, and that right there is a spot where I'm like, no, I'm not in total agreement with that, because what you said is what you felt.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I don't know that it's that you shouldn't have said it. Maybe it wasn't the time to say it,
Said
and
it.
then
You
that
said you
leads me
still
to
said
the
it.
question.
Mhm.
This is really how you feel. I went through that in my marriage. Certain
Okay.
things that came out after, I was like, oh, well, tell me how you really feel. And then it
Mhm.
was the apology that came after, and I said, no, 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 don't apologize. I said, because you said it for one of two reasons. You either said it because you meant it, or you said it because you wanted to hurt me, and either one of those are not acceptable in a
Mhm.
marriage. So I'm just giving the flip side. Y'all know me, I go left. Of things that we shouldn't have said. It is, am I being honest about how I feel up front? Did I feel, because sometimes the things that we say that we shouldn't have said were things that we knew from the way beginning that we suppressed and tried to, they so cute, it's, so we overlook it, or they so kind, so we overlook it, or they just, the greatest date, so we overlook it. But meanwhile, it's just been festering all this time, and then it comes out at that time. So that just kind of, for me, is I just kind of stand on, no, you said what you said, stand on it, 10 toes down, it's okay. You either felt it, you meant it, or it was aimed to hurt. So I just want to
All
share
right,
that.
they are talking in the comments. I'm loving it. Teresa said, "I've learned to be intentional with my words. When I am angry, I get quiet so I don't say something I can't take back. Hubby does the same.
Mhm.
Honestly, we don't argue. We chose not to argue." Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good.
Okay.
All right, we
Good
have
to
some
know.
more. Reginald said, "Dr. Elaine, heated fellowship." Don't call it a heated fellowship. It's not an argument. It's just a heated fellowship. Steph says, "At Teresa, I agree." Janice says, "Sounds really nice, but easier said than done. But very good.
Mhm.
You can control yourself." Yeah.
Yeah. That's all
And
about
it takes
control.
practice. And the
Yeah.
hard thing
Of course.
about it is you have to keep going through it till you master
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
Kathy said, "Good evening, everyone." Teresa says, "Exactly. You have to choose to respond differently and not what will feel good in the moment." Yeah.
Mhm.
Good
Yeah.
point.
Choose your words wisely.
Yeah.
And I
Because
think
in the
that,
moment you be like, I just want to say this and get it off my
Yeah.
chest,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
realizing the damage that it will
It's
leave
hurtful. It
because
hurt.
words
Yeah.
hurt. And I
Yeah.
always say the biggest lie our family told or we heard growing up, sticks and stones may
They
break your
break your
bones,
bones,
but
but that's not
names or
true.
words will never hurt.
That's so not
Words do
true.
hurt.
And words stay with you forever, like forever.
At least the
You know,
bruise will go away.
yeah. Like
And
you keep replaying what that person say.
to
Like, oh, I
Teresa,
meant you. Like, yeah, okay.
to Teresa's point is I agree 100%, and it's about that respect
Hmm.
you need to have when you're in conflict with your whoever you're arguing with, and trying to understand from a different perspective. And so we always talk about that in the Man Village. We go through the. I'm sorry, I got to harp on emotional intelligence because it plays so much in all we do. And
Hmm.
so I have 6 steps for it: emotionally available, present, know your emotion, know your triggers. And then the fourth part, which Teresa's point is here, is offering empathy, being able to see the life through another perspective. And when you're able to see the world through another person's perspective, you can better step away from being having to be right or the need to feel right, but yet you're allowing yourself to be open. And then the last is conflict resolution within yourself and conflict resolution within the environment.
Yeah.
That's good. And I think I
Now,
would
like I
just
said,
add,
they are talking in the chat. Go
they
ahead,
are.
Lady
I
Dumpy.
would just say to add to what Teresa said about you have to choose to respond differently. Then that requires for you to be responsible and accountable to arm
Your
yourself
words, yeah.
with other options. You got to
Hmm.
learn how. If you only know
Your,
one way
your intellect.
resolve,
Hmm.
you can then acknowledge the fact that this way isn't working for me. But then you also have to take on the responsibility and the accountability of learning, finding another way, saying I need someone to show me a different way on how to respond differently. Because some people are just stuck in that one way,
That's
so
true.
that's a
Yeah, because
great
some
point.
people, some people are just hot headed. Yeah, a lot of hot people just hot headed. People want to get they. Some people just want to get they point across, no matter how it comes out.
Mhm. They just want
And
to
they
be
would say, "Hey,
right.
this is who I am. This is who I am." But it's like, yeah, but now you hurt me because of the way you're talking to me. So yeah,
So steps,
choosing your words wisely is very powerful. That's a whole nother
absolutely.
top. That's a whole nother side of you.
So Steph says, I do agree that a conversation gets heated. Then there should be some time to process thoughts before finishing the
Ooh,
conversation.
hungry.
Just make sure that whatever the issue is
Hungry for
addressed.
kids.
And I think you have to tell someone, I need a minute. Like if that's my way, let me process and come back. And it's not that I'm ignoring whatever the issue is. I just can't have this conversation because my emotional intelligence is not high right now. Because the definition of emotional
My thing is
intelligence is
turning.
the
Did she
ability to
disappear?
manage
What
your
happened?
emotions while managing someone else's at the same time. So
Oh,
if
did she
I am
disappear?
unable to manage my emotions, I
Mm-hmm.
can guarantee you I could care less about yours. So I need to step away, gather my thoughts, regroup, maybe write some things down, and then come back and say, I'm ready to have this mature conversation. And we need to have key words or code words that we
Yeah,
can
safe
say,
words.
like, not right now. Whatever that
Mm-hmm.
looks like. I need to raise my hand, which means she need a
Yeah.
minute.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that looks like. That's why
Yeah.
communication is so
you
key.
definitely,
And
you
knowing
definitely
your
can't.
partner,
You
whether you're in
definitely
a
my cousin. That's for
relationship
sure.
or a friendship.
Like, my mother does that all the time. She'll put her hands up. She's like, not right now. Not, nope. Later. I'm like, okay.
I think every mother has that sign when you have kids.
like, nope, not right
You
now.
use
Not right now,
your
Thomas.
hands, you use your feet, you say it with your chest, part of your back.
Like, not right now. Like, it's like I know to be quiet. Like, oh, my mother put her hands up. She got to say that. She got to put her hands up. Like, all right, come on.
You
My
put your
mother said
hand up
that.
before you even get in the house, your hand is
Sign
up.
language. You heard what I
That's
said?
so
Mothers
true.
teach sign language.
Yeah.
So John
Yeah.
says, How was y'all going from zero to crazy over a little disagreement? See, it's words like that.
Yeah.
You just
That
said,
caused fights.
right, exactly. You went from
Yeah.
zero to crazy.
Yeah.
It could happen. You stay
It
ready.
happened.
All right,
Yeah.
wait, hold on. Stop the
That's true.
press. We got a super chat.
Mm.
Yes, for the super chat.
Which means when we get super chats, your comments are read first. So if we can get that super chat up.
Got it.
Oh.
Um
Oh, it's a big
Anae, all right. She says, great discussion. my disrespectful eyebrows would say something, would sometimes speak louder. So I had to put in the work with them as well. That facial expression, that's a
Yeah,
great point. I
yeah.
say
Like
a
I
lot of
said,
things with my
yeah.
face.
I told you the same thing. Like I wear my emotions on my sleeve. I wear it everywhere, so you know exactly how I feel. Just and without me even knowing, like it's my like just like you and just like her, my face shows everything. But yeah, Terrence on. Yeah, he's not. He's in that demon mode right now. So we're gonna just leave him
Oh
alone.
gosh, not
But
the
yeah,
demon mode, because
like
we
yeah,
don't have
he's
get some deliverance going. But
yeah,
but
he's in that
you
rampage
you
mode
you
right
have
now.
you have to know yourself. And to your
Yeah,
point, even the facial expressions, I would find myself even trying to look at my face in the mirror when something is happening so I can see what other people see. Because
you
in the
see,
moment, you like, I didn't do anything, and your face just went into
shows
a whole
everything.
nother
Yeah.
stratosphere because
Hmm.
your body language is saying, I totally disagree, or I need to be right, or I need to, whatever it is. So it's again going back to what William Michael Barbie talked about, that emotional intelligence piece. That's practice and that's work. And
Yeah,
relationships, as we know, they're work. And if we really
that's
want
true.
them to work, we have to be willing to labor for them.
Yes, because
That's
Good
every
point.
relationship is
And
different.
that nonverbal communication is communication, and it
hmm
says a whole lot. And so, hopefully, when there is intentionality put into how we process and how we're feeling and dealing with those emotions, we learn that that nonverbal is just as essential as the verbal.
That's true.
Now I got to
You
be
know.
honest, since we at this juncture, because I have a. This is not a transparency and deliverance, and
Hmm.
this is a true story.
I need a super
I
kick.
promise you, I can take a picture at my desk. My boss. I've been on my job for like 30 years, and everybody knows.
God bless
They know
you. God
I'm a
bless you.
sweet
Nice.
pie. I got your back.
Hmm.
Listen. I'm your girl. I'm gonna do it all. But the truth of the matter is, she made this, and they talk about the eyebrows. This eyebrow warning system. She put on a post-it and she stuck it on the outside of my cube that tells the people, be careful as you are talking to D.
Mm.
So they're like, watch her eyebrows. When they're
Hmm.
arched like this, this means one thing. When they're curved like this, it means something else. If they disappear, walk away real quick. That sat up outside my desk for a whole year, and people really were attending to it. They're like, well, wait, hold on. Because like my face, yeah, my eyebrow game is crazy. It's still not, it's not delivered yet. It's not reformed. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
But those facial expressions and body language, it may never come out my mouth, but you will absolutely see. My face is not saved yet, so we're working on
But it's true.
Oh,
Like, I
okay.
didn't have
You
people.
gave
I had
your
people
heart
write
and your
about.
mind to Jesus, not your face.
it. My heart, my mind, and my right hand. The left side is still, still
A
we
work
work
in progress.
work in
Yeah,
progress.
it's true. I mean, I didn't have people write on my wall talking about don't let Terrence go back to what he knows. I'm like, oh, here we go again. It's like so it's basically like the
Yeah.
oldest. It's just yeah, like don't let me go back to the old me. Like I don't want the old me. Like but like don't let me go back to that person because he could come back just like that. Like, he's
Well, we allow
dormanted,
those.
but
Yeah, I was about to say we allow a part of us lies dormant, and
yeah.
until we come to the fullness of, I'm going to keep working on this part of me until it's no longer a part of me.
Yeah,
I
it's
Yeah.
think
true.
that that's very key. So Rock Noble said, "Good evening, Mama Rose and baby sis. Yes, Reginald, New York, in the house, sir." Okay.
All right.
Hey, big bro,
New York in the building.
the BX.
Reginald Reginald Brown says, "Things are stated in the heated moment, which most of
Hmm.
the time are to hurt the other.
Yeah,
I'm not going to do that. That's for me. It doesn't work for other people." Yeah. I mean,
yeah, true.
again, I think it goes back to, yourself, what you
Exactly.
need to do for
What works for
psychological
you?
safety, right? We all have the need for physical safety and psychological safety.
Hmm.
Clarence's
That's true.
point, some things was more like, I want to, if excuse me, I want to be, or I want to keep people physically safe, so I'm going to walk away. You know,
Yeah.
for me, it was more, psychological because words hurt, and
Hmm.
I know, my sarcasm game is like,
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
and every time I'm like, ooh, okay,
Absolutely.
okay. And what I had to learn, it wasn't the eyebrows. I would start blinking. So I used to call it the blinking ministry, because my
That
brain is
too.
going and I just start blinking because I'm like, yeah, no, you can't say that. And and
Mhm.
I'm processing, what should I say? Because the old you, it wants
Yeah.
to
Mm.
resurrect and say, just
Yeah.
let
Yeah.
me at him. Remember that with what was that cartoon with Scooby Doo and Scrappy?
Yeah.
And he's
Let me
like,
at him,
let me
Scrappy.
at
Let
him,
me at
let
him.
me
Let me
at him.
at him.
That's what it's like. The little dog inside wants
Yeah,
to fight.
it's true. It's true. But
Yeah,
like you said,
I
like
was a
it's all
serial
about
blink
control.
too. I was that too. Yeah, I still
Yeah,
still
it's
blink
true.
to this day. Not as
You know
much,
what's
and not as bad.
interesting? We only did one video. That's the interesting part.
Listen, we didn't even get into the whole, this is going
This
to be
is
a part two. So we will have a part two because, as you know, I believe in time. But
Mhm.
no, Rock Noble says arguments are designed to, excuse me, arguments are designed to learn, not necessarily to separate. And it also, I think it goes back to what you said earlier, which was, what is the purpose of this argument? Do I want to
Yeah.
win this argument, or do I want to
Mhm.
keep this relationship? You
Relationship.
have to think
That's
what's
true.
more important.
Mhm.
He also said broken bones heal way sooner than words.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
There's some
Yeah.
things people said to us a long time ago. We still
Yeah. I
remember the
still think about it. Yeah.
words.
To the
Yeah.
very same day. Like, oh yeah. I remember what you said.
Teresa said, yes, respecting each other is not
Mhm.
optional. We both understand that, and we give each other space to be open. And they've been married a long time. So we want to make sure that people are hitting that like button.
Mhm.
Please, please, and thank you. We're asking that you subscribe. So we only have a few more minutes
Mhm.
left on this show tonight.
Yeah.
Wait, Stephanie says there needs to be a part two to this topic next week. Steph, we are already there. It may be a part three because we need some work in this area.
Apparently, apparently.
Uh, John said, "What does an unfair argument looks like?" Uh, you have to come back for part two next week, and
Yeah.
we're going to show you and demonstrate that.
Using
And I'm going to
deflection,
ask,
deception, all of those negative traits.
right? Um, yeah, we got a lot going on tonight.
Yeah.
We do. We
Loving
do.
it. Rock Noble says, "Baby sis will
Oh,
have to explain my nonverbal expressions."
that's
Okay.
my big bro. Yeah. I will bring diagrams next week so that everybody can all follow along. Yes.
Rock Noble says, what takes place is that people argue from an immature place. An immature argument is when one argues. I'm sorry, a mature argument is when one argues fairly. And we have to learn that.
Yeah.
Mama Rose says, loving the conversation and the great way it's being shared, because we want to grow, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I say it all the time. My next husband is going to get the best version of Elaine because she is healed, she
As
is
he should.
whole, she is
Right.
ready.
What
Right.
about
Exactly.
those batting eyes you were just talking about?
What, the blinking ministry? I didn't. I'm
Yeah, the
still healed,
telepathy.
whole. It's still
Okay.
the best part of me.
Okay.
The
It
blinking,
is still the best
there's
part of
power in
me.
the blink. There's power. There's an anointing in the blink.
All right, now you watch out. You got the eyebrow problem. So we
I, I, had,
both of
I'm,
y'all got the forehead thing going on. The eyebrows, the blinks.
I have both. I'm guilty of both. So
Me and Terrence just looking at y'all like, go ahead, whatever.
Rock
we
Noble says, my
on it.
wife and I decided if we are mature adults, we should be able to discuss anything without hollering, screaming, and cussing.
That's true.
And I
That's
think that
true.
is laying the
That's
ground
very true.
rules. And people need to have those conversations up front.
Mhm.
Like, this is what we're not going to do.
You do.
And we
I
have
agree
to
with you.
agree upon
I
that.
agree with them. I definitely
John
agree with them on
says,
that
hope it doesn't end with one party plotting revenge after the
one.
disagreement. No, we're delivered now. We
Yeah.
are, that was the old us. We are reformed,
Reform.
as Lady
Yeah.
Dawn B
We're
said.
Can
We
I,
reformed.
are
can I
reformed.
support some of this stuff with a little more theory based stuff?
Sure.
Like a lot of times when people have like two conflicting emotions, they feel as if they have to have an outburst, but they have to also reserve space in their heart that it's okay to be sad about something, that something's going on, and also know that there could be hope to go along with it. And so you can have both of those things. You can be sad when you have a loss of a loved one. You can be sad when you lose a job, but you can also be relieved to know that that lost loved one is no longer suffering. You could be relieved that, or happy to know, while you're sad by losing a job, you can be happy to know that there's a great opportunity for you. And so a lot of times when we have these conflicting emotions, we sometimes target. And so when we get into arguments, we're just hitting people when we're not realizing it's okay to have conflicting emotions.
I think that is so good because it made me think about, I often say this, we are like batteries. You need a negative and a positive to work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
You have to have it work.
Yeah.
It works at the same time because I don't care how great life is, right? Something else on this side is lingering, that, and you choose what it is as you go through. So,
Especially as
yes.
men, we have to learn to be more emotional. I cry in a heartbeat. I have no problem showing my emotion. I have no problem showing I'm happy or sad. I have no problem expressing myself to whoever I'm with or whoever I'm around.
Will you cry after you beat somebody up?
Yeah, I pray for their soul. I pray for their soul to go. They okay. I wish the good tears.
I'm not doing this.
I'm like, I hope this guy go to.
We are not doing this.
Party tonight. It's not me. Not calling no names, but if anybody has some yellow on their sleeve, I'm not gonna.
Right.
We can still see you.
You never know what's going to happen on Mondays Beyond the Mic, for real. Listen, we are definitely going to have a part 2 and possibly a part 3 because in all seriousness, this is an area that we need to grow and mature. I don't know what y'all need. Where I need to continue to grow and mature to know how to fight fair, whether that could be at work, that could be in a relationship, that could be in a friendship, wherever it is. We need to learn how to talk to people and not go below the belt, because a lot of times we'll get that little that little 1-2 combo on you, and then be like, I feel better now, but we left people wounded. With that being said, we're going to wrap up tonight, but before we wrap up, I want to kind of go around the room and let's just leave some lasting words, whatever it is, a sentence or a word that you want to leave. I'm going to start with Terrence, and then from there we'll go to Lady Dawn. I'm almost scared to let William Michael have the last word because it depends, because he has these conflicting things happening. But I'm gonna trust him tonight. I'm gonna trust him to be the one to have the last word. So we're gonna go with Terrence, and then Lady Dawn B, and then we'll close out with William Michael Barbie.
My words is control your emotions. That's mine. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, control your emotions.
I would just say take time to process. Take the time to process. And again, as said earlier, do you want to be right or do you want to get it right?
I like that. Counselor.
Oh, I would just leave with my mantra. My mantra is leave more than you take. It's about giving of yourself to something greater.
Okay. All right. And with that, we say thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Mondays Beyond the Mic. Have a blessed night and a week. Good night.
Good night.
All I do is try to come